So Jamie Carragher has come up with a shortlist of 4 to take over as permanent Manchester United head coach in the summer. Speaking on Monday Night Football, Carragher believes United should consider Eddie Howe, Luis Enrique, Julian Nagelsmann and Thomas Tuchel. Right, so before we get to that 4-man shortlist, should Carrick have been on it?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I disagree with Jamie there, because I think when you look at the managers that are now coming in to the Premier League, the young managers, would you believe that Arsenal could win the title with Arteta when he first come in? And no, of course not. So Chelsea, they brought in Rafinha. Do you think he could, win the Premier League with them right now? Not yet, but who knows? Look at Arteta. Michael Carrick, for me, is a really good manager. I've seen him at work. He's a brilliant coach. He knows Manchester United. He was a top player. He's got respect. He's talking about Luis Enrique. Of course, everyone wants Luis Enrique. Nagelsmann. Of course you want Nagelsmann. But I think Manchester United right now, they need stability, and they need a manager who knows the football club, knows the Manchester United way, knows how he wants to set the team up. And I think that guy right now is perfect for Michael Carrick. Now listen, if he goes on and he loses games against Burnley and, he loses games, and he go, okay, maybe he's not the guy. But I tell you what, I watched him at against Man City, and that was a Manchester United team that I could watch. That was a proper Man United performance. Okay, it's against Man City, it's a cup final. He's got to do it week in, week out. If he goes and wins 8, 9, 10 games, gets top 4, why shouldn't Michael Carrick be considered for the Man United job? Why? Why not?
Well, actually, we're doing a poll this morning, and we've added Michael Carrick to it. So you've got Jamie Carragher's 4 plus Michael Carrick, and we've got other there as well. And as you can see, Carrick's actually second and only just behind Luis Enrique. There's no clear... It's not like someone's got 70 or 80% there. No. Luis Enrique with 27, and then it's Michael Carrick with 25.
Yeah, but look, of course Luis Enrique, he's a world-class manager, and but Luis Enrique's got unbelievable players at PSG, and he's built a really good side. Of course you want Luis Enrique. But Michael Carrick, he knows what he's doing, Michael Carrick. He knows Man United. He's got really good backroom staff. He's got Jonathan Woodgate in there. Woody knows his stuff. He's got respect, in the game. He's a brilliant coach. He's been at Real Madrid. He's been in the Premier League for a long time. The players are going to respect what you could see instantly after that game against Man City. Michael Carrick had his arm around Kobe Manu. He's laughing with Bruno Fernandes. They're on board with him. They're disillusioned with Ruben Amorim and his tactics, and it weren't for Man United. Michael Carrick knows what Man United's about. He knows how they want to play, and he's got some really good players. If he can keep Mbuemo fit, Cunha, Fernandes, Kobe Manu comes back into the team, I thought he was superb. Michael Carrick can win the Premier League for Man United. Michael Carrick, if you give him the right foundations, you give him a decent infrastructure, good recruitment, Michael Carrick can win the Premier League with Man United.
No English manager has ever won the Premier League. Did you know that?
Maybe I'll take that back then.
Yeah, well, no. You've got Carrick if he gets the job. You've got Rafinha and Eddie Howe's up there with Newcastle as well.
But Tom, we're seeing a lot of English managers all of a sudden. I love it. It's good to see. And we're quick to dig out people getting opportunities. How's Rafinha getting a job at Chelsea? But I tell you what, it's great to see young managers, English managers, British managers getting the opportunity to manage big clubs in the Premier League. We ain't seen that before. We ain't seen that for a long time. Maybe this is time for change, and people can agree with it or not. But we've got some young managers, really good young managers, who are coming into the Premier League now, give them the opportunity to maybe go and win a title.
Well, would you say there that Carrick can win the title at Manchester United? What sort of time?
Listen, Arteta's had
to be clear.
Arteta's had 5 years, Tom. Arsenal fans wanted Arteta out after a couple of seasons, but they stuck with him. They stuck with a plan, and they've reaped the rewards now. They built a team, they trusted his process, and they believed him in as a manager. It was his first job. And now Arteta is classed as one of the best managers in the world. I'm not saying Michael Carrick is going to be an Arteta, but what I'm saying is he's got the fundamentals. He knows what Man United's about. He was a top player. His style of football. I think if you give him the right infrastructure, I'm not saying it's going to happen in 2 years. It might happen in 5. I think Man United would take that. If you said that you're going to be challenging for the title in 5 years, like Arsenal, over the next 3 seasons, finish 3rd, 2nd, all of a sudden you're there, I think Man United fans will say, I'm not saying Michael Carrick is the definite answer, but I'm saying why not?
Yeah. Well, you did actually say if he does well between now and the end of the season. You didn't say give it to him now. In fairness, away from that head coach situation, you'll have seen this with like Nicky Butt. He's told Lisandro Martinez to grow up and deal with criticism.
Yeah.
Because Martinez challenged Paul Scholes to speak to him face to face after Scholes and Butt mocked the defender's size ahead of the Manchester derby. Now, he actually played very well in that Manchester derby, didn't he?
He's actually a really good player.
Which does help Martinez's case.
Of course.
What do you think here? I mean, you, Butt, Scholes, you're paid to give your opinions.
Yeah.
Do you expect the players to react like that?
Yeah, Nicky Butt and Paul Scholes are on a completely different level to me. They are Man United legendary status. They can say what they want and they have every right to share their opinion. And a player has every right to answer back. You know, everyone's a right to you know, hold their ground and stake their claim and say, hold on a minute, I disagree with that. Martinez coming out saying, you know, come round my house. Now, Nicky Butt was quite funny. He said he's 50 years old and we're going to go round your house for it. You know, like, you know, I think you've got to be, when you're playing for Manchester United, as Jamie Carragher said, they are the most talked about club in the world. Everyone talks about Man United. They are the big story. And when you've got legends like Nicky Butt, Paul Scholes, who are entitled to their opinion, you know, you have to swallow it.
Is it quite good to see Martinez reacting?
Yeah, I don't mind it.
We sometimes do criticise players and managers for purposely not giving a proper answer when they're asked by reporters anything. He has actually given. He said, well, why doesn't he say it to my face?
I've got no issue with Martinez coming out and answering back. You know, and but listen, you've got to take criticism when you're at the big clubs. As a manager, as a player, you are under scrutiny every single week. And it's all right for Martinez, you know, saying, you know, what he said, but, you know, he's just come back into the team and he had a really good game. And I like Martinez. I think he's a good player. But I've seen Martinez have some stinkers as well. So, you know, at the end of the day, you've got to take criticism. Play well to the end of the season, you know, build that football club and get them in the top 4. Then you can say to Nicky Butt, come on and let's go and have a coffee, you know. But right now, Nicky Butt and Paul Scholes, who are legends of the game, every right to criticise Man United.
Okay, right, coming up. So Jamie Carragher said last night that he could not see Manchester United winning a league title with Michael Carrick in charge. But our guest, Jamie O'Hara, disagreed in the last hour. He thinks it is possible, and that's resulted in lots of reaction from you this morning, including this from Adam.
Jamie O'Hara, you've got no chance of Manchester United winning the league. No chance whatsoever under Carrick at all, or any other manager.
Yeah, I think Adam might think that we meant this season, but okay, fair enough. What about from Wayne?
I'm a Man United fan, and I agree with Jamie. I think if Carrick did really well to the end of the season, got us in the Champions League, then why not give him the job? I don't think at the moment any manager could win Man United the Premier League in the next 3 or 4 seasons. It's going to take time. Yeah. But I agree, if Carrick does well, give him the job, why not?
So not in the next 3 or 4 seasons. You did say 5 in fairness, and Alec thinks Carrick could be the man.
I agree with Jamie. I think Michael Carrick could win the Premiership with United. He's got the ability, he's got the love of the players, and you can see from the game against Manchester Man City that he got his tactics right. They were spot on. So give him a chance.
You thought you were going to get ridiculed. Well, so far, only 3 have been against you and 2 have been agreeing with you.
Yeah, look, I'm not saying he's definitely the answer, but I'm saying why not? You know, the prime example for me is Arteta. It was his first job, his managerial job. And now look at him, he's classed as one of the best managers in the world, Arteta. It's took him 5 years, but they trusted him, they built the process, and they believed in him as a manager. Through some tough moments when he wasn't doing great, but they stuck by him and they built a team. Now, Michael Carrick is of a similar ilk. He's a good manager. He's been a top quality player. He's played for Manchester United, played for England. He's got respect in the game. Really good coach. This is a big step up for him. Who's to say if he doesn't do a really good job, why can he not have the infrastructure at Manchester United to go on and be successful? Of course, as I said, Luis Enrique. Everyone wants Luis Enrique. Of course, the Nagelsmann. Yeah, of course, these are top managers. But if you're going to look at a situation where we're seeing at the moment with, owners who have sporting directors or director of football, whatever you want to call them, and have head coaches and they build a coach and coach a team, Michael Carrick could be a manager where you look at that and say he could be successful. I'm not saying that he's going to go and win the Premier League. I'm saying, why not? Why not? He's a good manager. He's got really good backroom staff behind him. Jonathan Woodgate, I know Jonathan. They're top people. They know what they're doing, and the players will respect them.
That Man United showed, I think it was the key aspect of the game. And if we show that by just have a look at the most sprints in the Manchester derby this week. This is the top 5 for the most sprints in the game. Man United occupying the top 4 spots in that. Ahmad coming back with 30. Dorgu, Bruno Fernandes, Dallo actually got forward really well as well from right back. Most sprints for Manchester City, a centre-back. It just shows to show, doesn't it? Running back towards his own goal, really, wasn't it? That's it.
But it was evident in the game, it was evident watching it, you know, and these are the basics. These are the basics. You have world-class players that can maybe do things special or keep the ball, create special moments. This is the basics. Roll your sleeves up, work hard, make runs, ask questions of defenders. They did the basics very, very well. And then we saw that clip there when they was on the ball, then the quality comes through. Then the quality in Fernandes in the number 10 role and the cleverness of finding that space and picking passes.
How often have we heard Man United fans say, we want our team to play fast, flowing, attacking football, get our wingers on the ball. And actually, this weekend against Man City, it was the most fast breaks in a single game. 5 this weekend. And every time they went forward, they looked like they might score as well.
Honestly, it must have been a breath of fresh air for him because I enjoyed watching him play.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Manchester United fan. I enjoyed watching that match. I enjoyed watching them play. And they got the response from the crowd. You could hear the atmosphere, you know, at Old Trafford. It was like what it used to be. Yeah.
Is this the blueprint? Is it a one-off? That's the key now, isn't it? Because they've got to do it more consistently. It can't just be one performance against their nearest rivals. Let's have a look at them out of possession and how they set up Man United. 4-4-2. And actually pushed in quite high, aren't they? You said about having a spare man at the back. That's really key. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's your back 4. Man City. 1, 2, 3. So you've got 1 spare man. So 4 against 3. They actually do leave quite a bit of space in here where Man City like to get bodies, don't they? Like to get Foden, Cherky, people like that into that number 10 position. But you know, Man United were happy to try and press.
Well, can I just stop you there, Matt?
Yeah.
That's fine to leave that space when nobody's in there. So there's no Manchester City player occupying that space.
Yeah.
So therefore, you might say Haaland might drop into there. You know, the goalkeeper might be clever enough to find a pass in there. When you are 4 against 3, it allows, like we said earlier, the defender to go tight. So they're absolutely fine there. They're perfect there. If Haaland came short, one of the centre-backs, Harry, can go as tight as you like, knowing you've got a spare man. Yeah. Knowing you've got a spare man. So the setup's perfect.
Yeah, and I think what they did as well, and we'll see it now, you can actually see it with the body shape. They're forcing City this way. They're saying, come this way. Out to the youngster, Max Lane. Let him have the ball. Play it on. He picks up possession. United quickly across. Mainu was squeezed in from his midfield position. If they're going to leave anybody spare, it's the opposite side of the pitch. They're the 2 that they're going to leave spare.
Again, intensity though, intensity in the pressing is what we're seeing.
And everyone's forcing them this way and down that left-hand side. We play it on. City give the ball away. Another clip. Another time, Man United, see Bruno Fernandes has stopped him playing out. So he stopped him playing this ball. He said, no, you can go out this way. Again, Max Lane on the ball. Picks up possession. As soon as he's trying to play the ball, look at how many Man United shirts are getting tight. Gives the ball away. Poor pass. And how often do we see this from Man City? I can't really remember it too often. Yes, Ederson plays that longer ball through to Erling Haaland. And we play it on a little. Max Alone picks up possession. He's looking for a ball. They're so good at tiki-taka football in that midfield, getting 3 and 4 passes before they get out. He's got nothing on. Harry Maguire's read it already. He's dropped into that position. He doesn't want really a runner behind because he's not the quickest, Harry Maguire, but he's read that ball down the channel. Wins the ball, and then can you keep it? They get a touch, they get a hold of it, they keep the ball and keep possession.
But if you go back to that clip at the start of that clip, Matt, the one before.
We'll continue it on. And I think that counter-attacks as well. You're talking about United, fast breaks now. Can you get bodies into forward positions? If we stop it now, how many have you got in that position now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're getting it backed up, aren't you? We'll play it on. Yeah. Yeah. Dorgu at the far post. Unlucky. Can they break again? Bruno Fernandes in that number 10 position on the half turn. Runners in behind, and Bumo and Ahmad stretching the pitch. Can you get bodies up? And Bumo's in the box. Fairly simple header for Donnarumma. This is Man United in a nutshell. This is what Man United fans have been crying out for. Can you break? Can you break at speed? If we stop it there, look at that now. You've got four Manchester United players up against 2 City defenders. You've got runners. You've got people who are wanting to spin in behind. And Bumo's run is so intelligent. Play it on. And Bumo's movement is absolutely fantastic into the space, but it's the weight of pass. He doesn't have to have a touch.
But again, it's having Fernandes in these positions. You know, he makes the right decision 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
And it's all right having runners in behind, but it's runs with purpose. Now, there is running with a purpose to score the goal.
Yeah.
And you've got Bruno Fernandes on the ball in them dangerous positions. He chooses the right pass.
If we stop it now and you just look at the picture, you've got Man United with every single Man United body inside the box. Bruno Fernandes just outside. He's in the D. But Man United have got everybody behind the box. Keep an eye on Ahmad on the right-hand side of the box and watch. He's the one that ends up getting the shot away. If we play it on, as soon as they win it back, watch them go. So he wins the first header, Luke Shaw. Patrick Dorgu tries to challenge, but eventually he picks up possession, gets Bruno Fernandes on the ball, Ahmad's away, and the pace that he shows, the quality that he shows, he's so unlucky. Beats Nathan Ake, and he's so unlucky to see it come off the post. So Michael Carrick off to a winning start. I think it's only Arsenal next.
It was what I was going to say, you know, we didn't have time to go back to that other clip, but I was saying in terms of the build-up and the way that Bruno Fernandes pressed and the kind of little details, what you saw, even the few days that Michael Carrick had, the details you saw, and Steve Holland, who I know very, very well, by the way, you know, to play and to push the play down the one side. You're seeing these little details already from Michael Carrick and what he's putting on his team.
Can I ask you about Steve Holland? Because there's a lot of people talking about him and how it was a masterstroke for Michael Carrick to get him in. How good a coach is he?
No, I agree. And look at his pedigree that he's worked under the likes of Jose Mourinho, the likes of Antonio Conte, you know, Gareth Southgate at England. His experience, he's a proper football man, and he will certainly help with Michael Carrick's progression at Manchester United and also this team to help him push forward. But no, very experienced, very good coach, very knowledgeable.
No, brilliant. So, yeah, great victory for Man United. What Leroy thought of it. Let's head over to Leroy. Leroy, what did you make of the performance from Man United? I know you watched the game.
Yeah, I did. It was impressive. You know, and Gary was absolutely right about them getting the basics right, which kind of gave him the platform to have that sort of performance. And I thought Kobe Mainoo was terrific, and he kind of went a little bit unnoticed because of the Bruno Fernandes and Umbumo getting the goal. So I want to just go back to Michael Carrick, talk to Gary Neville before the game about Kobe Mainoo.
Yeah, listen, I think Kobe's a fantastic player. He's got huge talent. He's got huge ability. I think a big thing for me is he's played in some unbelievably big occasions already and coped with it. And I think being able to cope with it, like you just said about the expectation, and he's played for the national team in huge games as well. So that element of it goes with the talent, and I'm looking forward to seeing him thrive.
It's brilliant. I just think that Michael Carrick might be the best thing that's ever happened to Kobe Mainoo going back to Old Trafford. And I thought that performance was terrific. It's a guy who's been out of the side for I don't know how long. Ruben Amorim didn't want to play him. And I've just got some clips of him here. And I just want to go through it. And we're talking about the basics, but he did them really well. I mean, just pick him up here, just highlight. I'm just going to stop it there. And the first thing he did, being in that position, Gary, was allow Bruno Fernandes to be in that position. But what he also did was give Casemiro some cover. And it was no surprise, Gary, that Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes both played well because he was in that midfield.
Yeah, it's been crying out for him. It really has, honestly. Legs, you know, and I think in terms of Casemiro, it's a slight worry for me when I watch him in terms of when the game gets stretched. I don't think he's got the mobility and the legs. He's got the quality, of course, and the experience. But having someone like Kobe Mainoo next to him, you know, allows him to do the defensive work more. Casemiro can get on the ball and start attacks. And Fernandes, I think that's been the most obvious thing to have him in that higher up role, in that number 10 role. Like I said, he can play the deeper one. I'm almost like a quarterback type of play.
Yeah.
But to hurt teams, you need him in that number 10 space where he